frog. Objectives of this experiment are to identify the neurons involved in response cycle, to understand selective blockade caused by strychinine, to correlate inhibition of stretch response with CNS stimulation, to learn the physiology of stretch reflex. Reflex action remains an instantaneous protective response of nervous system to a stimulus. Reflex action is an inevitable function of spinal cord. The simplest reflex arc involves a sensory neuron, a connector neuron, a motor neuron, and an interneuron. Spinal nerve carry the nerve impulses from the spinal cord to groups of voluntary muscle fibers. When the arc involving sensory neuron, connector neuron, motor neuron is completed, acetylcholine is released at the neuromuscular junction. As a result, contraction of a group of voluntary muscle fibers occurs. At the same time, another arc is completed in between the sensory neuron, interneuron, and motor neuron. As a result, relaxation of antagonistic muscle occurs due to action of glycine on interneuron within the spinal cord. Glycine is an inhibitory neurotransmitter of spinal cord. Strychinine is a selective and competitive antagonist of glycine. Therefore, it blocks the postsynaptic inhibitory sites, that is, interneurons, and blocks the relaxation of antagonistic muscles. Whereas activity of acetylcholine on voluntary muscles is continued. Thus, excitatory effect is observed upon administration of strychinine. It should be remembered that the CNS stimulant effect of strychinine doesn't result from direct synaptic excitation, but it is by selective blockade of inhibition.
For studying the effect of strychinine with the frog, hold the frog on a stand with a clamp. Now, dip one of the legs of the frog in glacial acetic acid and observe the stretching of the leg in upward direction. Since glacial acetic acid produces irritation and pain, the frog gives response by stretching its leg. Inject 0.1 ml of strychnine sulfate solution intraperitoneally. After 1 minute, once again dip the leg of frog in glacial acetic acid and observe its response. Now, observe the response. You will notice that the movement of frog's leg is in upward direction. Remember, for any movement, alternate contraction and relaxation of voluntary muscle is a must. Repeat the same procedure after injecting 0.2, 0.3 and 0.4 ml doses of strychnine sulfate solution. At certain dose, the frog doesn't show any movement of its leg. This means that strychnine sulfate has stimulated the spinal cord by producing excitatory effect on voluntary muscles of abdomen and leg, causing a state of permanent contraction. Therefore, the frog has not responded to glacial acetic acid. Hence, strychnine sulfate is CNS stimulant.
What you have learnt: to name the neurons involved in stimulus-response cycle, to understand that stretch reflex is due to contraction and relaxation of alternate groups of voluntary muscles, to understand the state of permanent contraction. Strychinine stimulates CNS by inhibiting inhibitory neurotransmitter glycine. Strychinine is classified under CNS stimulant category. Strychinine is a poisonous drug and never used in therapeutics. Any accidental consumption or deliberate administration of strychinine is characterized by rigorous convulsions produced in the body. If not treated in time, may cause death.